Well, hey there, fellers. Sentient Potato here. As you can see, I found the dark theme. But also, today, I listened to, quite possibly, the worst Nickelback offering that's happened yet, which is unfortunate because I used to be a massive fan of Nickelback. Admittedly, the last album of theirs I found any real enjoyment from was Here and Now, which is quite an old album, but still, it is a shame. But alas, I did force myself through the Keep Rolling album, but I really think I shouldn't have because this was awful. There was like two, maybe three good songs if you really stretch it. It was bad. But I even wrote up my notes for it. Nickelback's Keep Rolling album starts on a very strong note with San Quentin, which is very reminiscent of classic Nickelback, which is very nice to hear because, let's be real, most of their albums post Here and Now, or really post Dark Horse, were pretty damn weak. But, you know, little did I know, this one's pretty damn weak too. But, I forced my way through this. Anyways, it's nice to be able to hear a new Nickelback song without cringing. But again, this was, this was back when I started listening to this album, which was a little while ago to today, but yeah, this was awful. Anyways, the next song after San Quentin is Skinny Little Missy, which sucked. It was repetitive. It was pretty forgettable, and it was reminiscent of what mostly called country now, but I kind of call it sad guy in a pickup pop because yeah, it's bad. And like the theme of most country music is you're a sad dude in a pickup, and that's basically it, man, which is a shame. Anyways, back to Nickelback. And I wrote, "These days is an attempt at invoking nostalgia. For some reason I smelled Fruit Loops when I heard this song. I'm gonna blame this on the 2-ish hours of sleep I got, which, yeah. Anyways, this is a song you either play to cheer someone up or for when you're down in the dumps. And considering the state of affairs now, I feel like it would be accurate to call this song a double-edged sword of bitter reminiscence, because, yes. Also, it's trying to put me to sleep, so it does lose a couple of points for me. Pretty okay music video, though. Kinda makes me want to cry a little. Anyways, then I wrote, High Time kinda reminds me of southern rock and old country music. I enjoy this song. So far, this and San Quentin are the only songs I actually enjoy off the album. It's interesting the kinda reminiscent and travel theme this album has had. A lot of classic rock shoutouts within this song, though. And then Vegas Bomb starts off very strong, only to go weak almost immediately. And I wrote, Nickelback has really lost its touch. This song sucks. I have nothing good to say, and thus will refrain and wait for the next song in this album with the parting thought of good riddance. Because, man, this song sucked. Obviously, just add that this song sucks parts right now, but still, it was awful. Then I wrote, Tidal Wave starts okay, but goes to a less than okay way for my taste. On one hand, the vocals are nice and remind me of classic Nickelback, but then the chorus hits and it feels forced and loses the luster for me. It almost feels AI generated. Like, you guys remember that This Song Does Not Exist? That's what it reminded me of. It was bad. Anyways, I didn't find myself enjoying it all this much. It feels too much like Nickelback-flavored elevator music for me to enjoy it. And then, we go to or one of the love songs off this album, Does Heaven Even Know You're Missing, which starts out alright. I found myself enjoying it, because, I do occasionally enjoy love songs. And I wrote, this feels like classic Nickelback, but not forced. And I feel like this is something you would play at a wedding. This is very evocative of classic Nickelback, like from their The Long Road album. And then the next song, called Steel Still Russ, starts in a very different way than I expected it to. Again, classic Nickelback, but kind of in the way of the Dark Horse album. This was pretty enjoyable. I've heard better, but I've heard worse, too. If I had to give this specific song a rating, it would be a 6 out of 10. And I wrote, the guitar work in this kind of reminds me of the bands Hinder and 10 Years. But when I say 10 Years, specifically from around the time of, what was the album they had Wasteland on? Like, from around then, though. And with Hinder, like, just hinder in general, because yeah. And I wrote, Horizon feels pretty bad to listen to. I felt myself trying not to fall asleep while listening to this. This feels like late 2000s slash early 2010s country music, but in the worst way. I hate this song. Good riddance indeed. And then I wrote, Standing in the Dark starts off relatively mediocre. This song feels like it ripped off a lot of different ones. Because it did. It really felt like there were a lot of songs kind of ripped off with this one. And then poorly done. Which, it is what it is. And I wrote, This song is both good and not if it makes sense. Good riddance, I'll probably be back. And then, for the song Just One More, which is the last song off this album, I wrote, Just One More? Nah, man, you gotta be cut off because this is pretty bad. This is just embarrassing, even. Good riddance. And then, if you're a fan of Nickelback, and you find yourself curious if you should check out the new Nickelback album, here's my advice as someone who's been listening to Nickelback since I was a kid, back when Dark Horse was brand new. Don't. This album is shit, and you are just wasting your time to listen to this album. It's a shame, but it is what it is. And in this case, what it is a lackluster offering, not even worth the vinyl it was printed on. 4 out of 10. See me after class. If you guys want to see more, like, comment, and subscribe. Sorry for no gaming videos. I might be back with one tomorrow, it just kind of depends on what happens. Either way, love you guys, and with any luck, I will see you soon.